And now, here to entertain you all, because every day he's hustling. Side Hustle Cinema.
Welcome back to the channel. Side Hustle Cinema here, and it's another Blues Day Tuesday. Thanks for clicking on this video. Unfortunately, there is just not a whole lot of stuff that came out this week. But we've got a few pre-orders to talk about. We'll talk about everything that came out this week, and we'll take a look ahead at the last week of the year, December 28th, when I see you next Tuesday. Ghostbusters Afterlife comes out February 1st, and we finally get to take a look at the official artwork for those releases, at least the 4K, standard slipcover and the Blu-ray. But what I found kind of exciting is that there was a photo that came out yesterday about an Ultimate Ghostbusters Box Set that if you actually go on Walmart.com, they actually have the pre-order up for it right now, and it's $88.99 for that box set. And it looks like you're going to be getting Ghostbusters 1 and 2 and Ghostbusters Afterlife on 4K, and it comes in a cool looking box set that looks like one of the ghost containment units. Doesn't look like it's going to include the 2016 Ghostbusters with the all-female cast. And the photo that came out yesterday showed that it had a like a special it did show a fourth disc in there, that there was 2 additional special features discs, and that there was a book. And that used to be the photo that was on Walmart.com, but as of, right before I started recording this video, I went back to look at it again, and Walmart has now changed it to just a picture of that containment unit box. They're no longer showing the stuff inside the package. And that may be because the artwork, isn't the final artwork, or maybe they won't be putting in a couple of those items, who knows. Hopefully we'll be getting more details soon about that, but it looks like a pretty cool package if we get what's in this other picture, So I'm kind of excited for that. And coming out on March 15th is going to be Shooter, the 15th anniversary 4K Blu-ray Steelbook edition. And if you haven't seen Shooter, it's a pretty good action flick. It stars Mark Wahlberg. And yeah, I'm really excited. I like the movie quite a bit, and I'm excited for this one to come out on 4K. And Arrow Video announced their March releases. Well, I'm very pleased to say that RoboCop is going to be coming to 4K. And the really great news is that they're actually going to be giving it a Atmos mix. So that is fantastic news. I don't think Arrow has ever done that before. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. Has Arrow ever put out a movie with an Atmos mix to it? Because I've been a pretty big critic of Arrow Video for not doing much with their audio. On a lot of their releases, you only get either a mono track or that 2.0 stereo track, and then a very bland 5.1, they call it DTS HD 5.1 audio, but it's always a very stagnant, very front heavy mix that just isn't very immersive, and they seem to do that with all their releases. They almost never give you any kind of upgraded audio, whatsoever. But like on the on Hills Have Eyes, they actually gave you a 7.1 track, and now with RoboCop, they're giving us an Atmos track. So, maybe they're trending upward, and they're going to start to have better audio mixes on some of their movies. Everyone loves their packaging. People enjoy their video, but they've not put a lot of attention on the audio, and most people are okay with it because they only have sound bars. But for the for the full surround sound folks, or people that are home theater enthusiasts, you're kind of left out in the cold with these audio mixes, to the point where when movies come out on Arrow, sometimes I get a little sad. I know when Tremors came out on 4K through Arrow, I was actually really kind of sad about it, because I knew that it wasn't going to have great audio. And audio is half the movie. I mean, I know a lot of people don't talk about it. People get bored talking about it. But, audio is still half your movie, so you want a good mix. One of the things that Arrow's been doing, though, is when they're putting out these new 4K transfers to their movies, they're just reusing the same packaging that they had on their previous Blu-ray releases. We saw that with Hills Have Eyes, we saw that with Children of the Corn, and we're getting that with some of these that we're going to talk about today. RoboCop. It's the same packaging that was on the previous Blu-ray release. Now Zavvi is putting out a steelbook release for this one, so I guess you have that option if you want something different. And they have RoboCop scheduled to come out on March 29th. Coming out on March 28th is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and it too will be in 4K, and it'll also be getting Dolby Vision, but unfortunately it's just getting that standard audio with the 2.0 audio track and then the 5.1 DTS HD, standard audio that they usually do with their releases. Zavvi is also putting out a steelbook for this one as well, so if you want a different packaging than what Arrow is providing, you have that option to go with that steelbook. I've seen Mary Shelley's Frankenstein a couple of times. I'm not a real big fan of the movie, although thinking about it on 4K, it should look really good. There's a lot of things in the movie that would probably make for a good 4K transfer, but I'm just not a very big fan of the movie, so I don't know if I'll be picking that one up or not. And finally, the other one that I want to talk about that's coming out on March 15th is An American Werewolf in London on 4K. And again, the packaging is going to be the same as the previous Blu-ray set that came out. But if you want different packaging on this one, Zavvi is putting out a box set. It's pretty expensive though. It's like I think it's $179 for this one. And you're getting the movie and you're getting this I guess little statue type thing. It's the werewolf's hand, like going through transformation from human to the wolf. And they've got it coming up through like the subway, subway floor. I don't really think it looks all that great. I would really rather have had like the full-on werewolf, like the whole thing, or at least the head or something like that. Just the hand kind of doesn't really do it for me. And that subway, backdrop. And as far as the audio and video on this set, as far as the video goes, you're getting a new 4K restoration from the original camera negative, and it does have Dolby Vision, but the audio is going to be that same 2.0 stereo track and then the 5.1 DTS HD track, which isn't that good. Now let's talk about some deals. One of the deals I wanted to mention is that Columbia Classics Volume 2 is on sale at its cheapest price ever, $97.18. And if you don't yet have that set, it's a really great set to have. I've been going back and trying to watch all the 4K movies that I bought this year, because I'm trying to put together that top 10 list, end of year list, And so I've even been watching Oliver and Sense and Sensibility and Anatomy of Murder. And if you don't have that set, now's the time to pick it up, because there's not a lot coming out this week, there's not a lot coming out next week, and that thing's going to sell out eventually. And it'll be gone and it'll get really expensive, so now's the time to jump on it and go ahead and pick that thing up. Also, Inglourious Bastards is on, it's only $10 right now. I picked up a copy of it. I know it's not supposed to be the greatest transfer, but for $10, you can't not pick it up, right? So getting into what all came out this week, definitely the top movie of the week is No Time to Die, the James Bond movie with Daniel Craig. A lot of people got this one early. Walmart was selling it, I guess, a week early, and so some people were able to pick it up there. And this has many additions to it. There's the Best Buy exclusive steelbook. You got the standard slipcover edition for both the Blu-ray and the 4K. Those look the same. You had an exclusive set that was limited to only 700 that came with like an Aston Martin car. And that was like really overpriced and kind of expensive. Not really worth getting. Target has an exclusive edition of this one, and so does Walmart. They have an exclusive edition as well. I'll probably just be picking up that 4K, standard slipcover edition. I do want to watch this one and see if I need to add it to the, top 10 list of the year. So I need to jump on that pretty quick. I don't have it picked up as of yet. I think I'll probably try to pick it up in the next day or two. Also that came out this week was Many Saints of Newark. That, of course, is that Sopranos prequel movie. I didn't get a chance to watch it on streaming. I kind of forgot actually that it came out. And so, I was a fan of The Sopranos. Not a huge fan, but a fan. And so I'm definitely going to be checking that one out at some point. Probably not for a while, though. Other than that, Scream Factory put out Vampire Lovers. This is one of their special edition ones, so it came with that poster. If some people actually watch and review this movie, I'll listen to what they have to say, and I'll see if it's something that looks like I want to pick up. But just kind of looking at it and reading about it, it doesn't really look like one that I kind of want to see. So I'm probably just going to be skipping this one. And that's really about it for what came out this week. I mean, there was a few other things, Bruce Willis has another movie, him and Chad Michael Murray, Fortress. And, just some kind of off-the-wall, extreme boutique stuff, but nothing all that great. As far as what I picked up this week, I did pick up Inglourious Bastards on 4K. I showed you that one. And I will be picking up the No Time to Die. And I'm actually supposed to be getting in my Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. That is supposed to come today in the mail, so I'm still waiting on that one. I'll run out and pick up that James Bond movie at some point here in the next day or two. And as far as everything else I picked up, I didn't really pick up anything else. I did put out a video last week that showed my Kino Lorber winter sale haul. I'll leave a card, up top for that one. And I'll also leave a card up top for what I picked up last week altogether. There was quite a few things that I picked up last week. You'll probably want to check out if you haven't seen that video already. But I'm not going to show all those titles today. I mean, that would make the video a little too long. So, yeah, go ahead and check out those. And if you haven't seen them, and if you have seen them, well, thanks for watching. Well, here at Side Hustle Cinema, we are a forward-thinking channel. And so now let's jump ahead 1 week to December 28th, the last week of the year. Let's talk about everything that comes out when I see you next Tuesday. Unfortunately, this is going to be really fast because there is not a lot coming out next week. There's really only about 20 or so releases that come out next week, and most of them are not even on Amazon's list. Like, there's not even a pre-order price for some of these. You can't even get them through Amazon. That's how out there they are. So I'm just going to show you some of the ones from some of the movie companies that I do sort of recognize, and invite you to go to Blu-ray.com and check out the full list if you want to see all those sort of super niche titles that'll be coming out next week. MVD Visual will be putting out Jack Frost and Jack Frost 2. This was pushed back. It's supposed to have been out a couple of weeks ago, and it was pushed back 2 weeks. I would have liked to have had these come out before Christmas. I have these pre-ordered. But what are you going to do, So they're supposed to come out next week. Hopefully they still come out next week. These are part of the MVD Rewind collection. If I get them next week, I'll still watch them this year. But if it's pushed back anymore, I'll be waiting until next Christmas season to probably watch these. Also next week, we're getting the Shawscope Volume 1 on Blu-ray. And it's a limited edition. You're getting 12 movies on this set. And I've heard a lot of people talking about this one, and it's something they've been looking forward to quite a bit. So I'm curious to see some reviews and some unboxings on this to see if I'm interested enough to maybe pull the trigger and pick up this one myself. We'll see how it goes. Disney's putting out The French Dispatch on Blu-ray next week. Shout Factory's putting out Castle Falls on Blu-ray next week. Yellow Veil Pictures is putting out Knocking on Blu-ray next week. And see, I've never heard of Yellow Veil Pictures. The only reason why I included that one is it sounded kind of interesting. So that's kind of what we're dealing with for next week. You know, it's movies like that. Magnolia Pictures is putting out Mayday on Blu-ray next week. Fun City Editions is putting out Radio On, and it's on Blu-ray next week. And Gunpowder and Sky is putting out Her Smell on Blu-ray, and that company is a partner company for Vinegar Syndrome, so it's a Vinegar Syndrome exclusive, and it's got an exclusive slipcover. It's like limited to 2,000. It doesn't sound or look like a good movie, but maybe, you know, I guess if you're really into that sort of thing, maybe you'll like it. Maybe I don't know something about these, but it doesn't look very good to me. And honestly, that is about it for next week. Like I said, they've got some anime titles on here that look like some hentai anime porn. And there's a few other, like, way out there, off the wall stuff. So if you want to go to Blu-ray.com and check out that full list of things coming out, I invite you to do so, but there doesn't look like anything that anyone I know is going to pick up. So I think what I'm going to do next week, actually, and instead of talking about these, and I think next week I'm going to do sort of a year-in review, where we kind of take a look back and talk about some of the things that have happened throughout the whole year, just some of the highlights and some of the lowlights and things that went on. So yeah, just kind of a year in review type episode, and I think that's what we're going to do when I see you next Tuesday. So that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. If you're unsubscribed to the channel, I invite you to subscribe. And as always, stay safe, have fun, keep watching those movies, and I'll see you next Tuesday with a year in review.